remember this? The Electrolux Z2060 electronic, which I broke the hose on. Well, we have a replacement hose, and this is refurbished and looking and working so much better. Let me show you what it looks like now, and we'll see how it works. Yes, hello my vacuum cleaner chums, how are you today? This is a bit dusty. Forgot to give it a wipe down before I started filming this video, although as you can tell from the front it is a lot shinier. It is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It is still pretty beaten up, the poor thing, but it has some shine in it. The plastics are now smooth and we can touch it without getting horrible diseases. The middle wheel is a Miele wheel because it's worn away. That is frightfully common on these and the earlier 350 series, 300 series cleaners. Have a modern plug, we won't look at that too much. But nice long cable with a very good cord rewind on it. Under here we find was a brand new filter, obviously you can tell I've used it, and the blower adapter which sits there. There we go. Inside, if we open up the lid, we will find ourselves a nice HEPA flow, well not genuine but correct fitting. It's the right fitting for a 300 series / these 2000 series with, and I won't take it out because they're a right pain, brand new genuine Electrolux filter as well. So yes, everything in here is absolutely fantastic and as good as it will be. There's some power. Ooh. As it will be and has to be. So we'll plug it in and it turns on all by itself. And sounds a lot better, as you can tell. Now without the hose, this is all it does. On, doesn't matter what you push or off. That wind down's so much better. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better. The magic happens when you connect the hose. The hose for this machine came off of something else. I don't quite know what it came off of, but all it had was an on-off switch and a boost button. That was it. There was no self-adjustment, etc. on it. But it uses the same technology. The coil sits, you can sort of just see it under there. And there's two wires go through the hose, and there's only 2 wires on the PCB. So this circuit board here, or this black top bit, is from the 2060. You can just about see that there. It's so faded. It hasn't worn very well. So I've made one okay hose out of the 2. So when you plug the hose in and turn the machine on, the light comes on for the remote control, but nothing else happens. I'll turn it on here. And you can turn the machine down or up. And even boost it. And yet it works okay. This isn't the best, and I had this exact problem with my Dolphin 4x4, which works pretty much the same way, except it was just wired into the machine because it has the different fitting. So occasionally, although I think I've managed to stop it, yeah, I've managed to re-solder the potentiometer onto the board, which fixed the dry solder joint. And yeah, it now works okay. If you take the hose off, it'll just go straight onto full power. You plug the hose back in, it all sorts itself out. It works very well indeed. And yes, this end of the hose does swivel, although this end is fixed because of the wires. Before we go on to some cleaning, we have and better one. It came from this as a hose. Somebody just gave me this hose. Oh, do you want this old hose that I don't want? And I said yes. I thought nothing of it until I realised late one night it was an electric hose. And all this came down and got fixed. So we have ourselves an extendable telescopic tube, which has a bit of a tight point because the wand, I think it's that dink there, there's just a couple of little dinks in it, which you have to get past with this. So it's smooth otherwise, but yeah, it just hits the first dink and isn't very happy. So yes, we have ourselves a lovely extending tube. I have a grey crevice tool. Don't have a dusting brush for this machine. I'm not in grey. Anyway, and finally this head, which I don't think is the correct head, but it's certainly the head that I've got with it. It's not a particularly lovely head. I mean, it does the job. Don't get me wrong, it will pick up bits, but only if they're sat on the surface. In fact, look, if I drop you down here, look, you can see we've got a couple of bits of dirt on the floor already. Crikey, that's high. Ugh. There we go. Yeah, it'll get them up. But bar that, it's a horrible, horrible head. Let me put some dirt down and I'll show you how awful it is. And this is only on the surface as well. I haven't rubbed it in, and we're going to have the machine on just its highest power, like normally, not on boost. Oh, we're slow powering. As you can see, it just sort of needs it on the surface, but if you go to boost, we suddenly get a fair bit more airflow. And that does bring me on to the thing that I do not like about this machine. You are limited by the hose, because reading the manual, on normal or max, so I hit the hose off like that, you get 1,000 watts, and there's no air leaks, it's there, you get 1,000 watts. If you turn the hose on, because this isn't quite right, you can hear it's a bit lower, maybe 800. You've got to hold down boost to get 1,400 watts. And then if you do it too much, it makes you wait. It's all very confusing, but yeah, you only get the 1,400 watts whilst you are holding down this button on the hose, which is a bit of a faff. It's certainly why I'm not too much of a fan of this. I can turn my 1,000 watt Z2060 on and the airflow is just much better. All the electronics are doing odd things to the motor, but this floor tool certainly does. Oh, it's clogged up, look. Yeah, does not help at all. So what I've actually been doing is using just a far better floor tool. This is my modern style of the classic floor tool, and it's just so better designed and makes so much more of the available suction that we have, which isn't a great deal. You know what, we use all that up. So now with this floor tool, it does improve things. Especially in boots. Cover it out. I don't quite know why you vacuum like this. It doesn't feel like it's doing anything. It's picking the bits up, but only from the very surface. So it's the same criticisms that I had with my Dolphin 4x4. In fact, before I got this, I was slightly regretting having sold that, but there we go. Now that I've got this one, I can sort of remember why. Hose is a great design, obviously a cylinder, especially the Electrolux, with electronic speed control. It is rare, and one would say a good thing, but it does hold the machine back somewhat. But hey ho, this machine cost me nothing, and I've actually spent, well, the bags, I had to buy a pack of those for lots of machines, so it cost me about £1 for a bag. Everything else I either had already or picked up very luckily for free. So there we go. The Z2060 is, oh, I'll take that hose off because it's a bit faffery. It's not quite as easy to manoeuvre as the others, because again it's got wires running through it, hasn't it? There we go. My Z2060 done, ready to go into the collection. I'll put that somewhere else, and I can make a start on something else. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I and this vacuum will see you soon. Bye bye.